Good evening, Patriots. It's Knots Online. It's going to put a little dash of Johnny Walker Red Label. Merry Christmas to everybody. Let's have a little tipple and a little wrap up of the day and what happened yesterday very quickly. And right, obviously I'm very tired. Very, very tired. So I'll get to the point. Yes, the police were okay with me. I think the police were that bad in all fairness. Seeing it from their point of view without considering my needs, obviously, they would probably just do the easiest, quickest, with the least resources that's required. I mean, they did turn up with a meat wagon, bunch of people for what could have been a serious assault on myself or whatever. But in general, I don't ever follow it through, and I think they all knew me anyway, so they probably knew that, I'm not going to be making a big deal of it. But I did think on this occasion I should, but I sort of regret that because I look like a bit of a plonker. I'm always shouting for the police on my videos, but, what else are you supposed to do? What I'm supposed to do is start striking people, then I'll be in prison in a minute flat. It seems to be quite acceptable for people to put their hands on me, to touch my equipment, break my equipment, surround me, harass me, slander me in public and stuff like that. For me just being there and saying my own legal right thing to say, which happens to oppose theirs in their opinion. In my opinion, I was just there as a backup singer, and I was just there supporting Palestine like them, just in a slightly different way. I was on the same side as them, but in a slightly different way. That's why I didn't know why they was opposing me as such. I know that it did come off as quite, arrogant and quite cocky and stuff like that, but under the circumstances, I was absolutely furious. I'm personally very offended and intimidated by their choice of location right outside the Christmas market. Not that it had any connection to any other event at a Christmas market, but just their choice of location where people had to walk by. That's a very busy location for footpath, and they took up the whole entire highway, the public highway, which was quite shocking. Like, they wanted to inconvenience the British public. They didn't need that much space for what they were doing. They chose to be an inconvenience. They chose to be unavoidable. And then I obviously patiently listened. And then I heard her start shouting and banging off on the microphone. And I thought, this person doesn't care about any of these children with their parents going around the market, or any of these old people, or anyone who's a Christian who's feeling a bit sensitive about this Christmas market. She's going to dress like, some faraway mercenary. And then she's going to be parading around showing all these pictures of these murderous victims, not mentioning any of ours or any of our fallen soldiers or any of our victims or any of our crime rates or anything to do with our local issues at all, or anything to do with our problems. But we've got to care about her problems more than our own, and at our own expense of being intimidated. And like I said, I was physically threatened and intimidated. Every time you disagree with them on anything, you get immediately gang assaulted or gang threatened on the internet, and piled on or sacked, or your whole name gets ruined, and everyone who never knew you or ever said anything about you and only sponsors you is going to get ruined. It really does expose the sort of people that we're exposing, doesn't it? So just by me being there as a presence and doing basically a mirror of her behaviour, which is all I ever do with that young lady on the microphone. She's very provocative. She says loads of terrible statements. I mean, I've got bad teeth at the moment, so excuse my yellow teeth. I've been drinking coffee as well today. But I had a tooth out the other day. I ended up paying for it because, Anyway, the point of the matter is that I wasn't in the best of health, but I went out there just to say happy, Merry Christmas to everybody, and I did it all for you lot, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you do want me to do more of these sort of things, I would like to hire some bodyguards, so you could send me a little budget if you want. But of course, it is such a bad time with heat and bills and elderly family members and children wanting all this stuff at Christmas. I'm not even going to ask you, but if you're a single man and you got a lot of money, then send me a tenner or something, and then I'll get out there and I'll do some more videos with a little team, and we'll do a lot of social experiments as well, which is what I want to get into. But I was going to talk about the police and stuff like that. I was with Andy Public and stuff like that, and he's an auditor, and I'm not really into that scene as much as people might imagine. I don't think that we should bother the police or anything like that as such. I think that, even though they're doing what they're told, and there is a sort of like political nuance to everything that they seem to be doing, it's not coming from their personal choices, I don't believe. I think it's actually coming from the CPS or political brass in their ranks. I don't think it's coming from the officers or even the sergeants or even the local ones. I think it's coming at a national level, these sort of doctrines that the police are following, and this political media sort of monopoly when it comes to what's being actioned and what isn't being actioned by the police. But the actual people who have been paid wages to do as they're told, i.e. the police officers, I'm not about bothering them at all. And the ones that I dealt with were all right with me. They were a bit tricky with the words, trying to set me up with, oh, have you been assaulted as well? And I was like, no, I've been assaulted. There is no as well. I've not assaulted anyone. And so I didn't like the way they came to trip me up straight away, because it's just the easiest thing for him to do in his job, in his role. And obviously they were outside, they didn't want to arrest anyone. You could tell Nottingham police, they don't really like to bother anyone as such unless it's a serious event, which is a bit weird, but it's not. I understand where they're coming from, because they've got very limited souls in Nottingham and very limited resources. So no, that's a good thing, or it's the Tories' fault or anyone's fault. I'm just saying, as an individual officer, I take it all the way down to the ground level, shop floor level. It's how I look at everything. It's how I look at everything. It's on an individual basis, and the nuances of that. And I don't blame the individual, but what I do blame is the political and ideological willpower behind these officers' decisions, which were subconscious, or were, you know what I mean, were learnt from when they joined the ranks, from what their sensitivity training has taught them, or from what they've observed by other officers who haven't done what they're supposed to do in between the lines. Or they may have political sort of members in the ranks, which they do. I think that, you know, some of the members of the new commissioner's office, or council commissioner's office, or assistant commissioner, they've been very vocal on Palestine in the past, which basically means that the people that are in control of the police in Nottingham have already chosen a side, which is not exactly what I would call independent. But I may be wrong on that, so don't judge me on that. But I would just like to say that, yeah, like, there seems to be a bit of a rift between Andy and the police, and nobody poor in the police, and that's between them. I'm not really, like, out here trying to demonise the police for doing their individual jobs as individual people, because they are individuals, and the ones that I've dealt with have been very fair with me and with the Palestinian people as well, and treated as politically blindly, I would say. They may be motivated to think that I'm the bad guy, but, you know, that's just their day-to-day running. They see a guy who looks like me, and they see these girls who are upset. It's not always a political decision. These lads or these police officers, if they're deciding who's guilty in their sort of mind. And I know you're going to shout at me, say, no, it's all about the law. And he said, I'm just a realist, you know, and I don't really, I don't really want to be putting hate towards anyone who's like in the police force, or anyone who's even for this Palestine stuff, you know, other than the individuals who like the person on the microphone the other day, who are really making an effort to be a nuisance. So obviously I had to show the mirror to them. People think that on the other side, they'll think that I'm that person now. I'm that person who didn't need to stop, didn't need to bother these Palestinian people. And now on the other side of the fence, I'm that girl with a microphone, you know. And it's a bit weird, because I didn't want to actually have to behave like an idiot to get the point across, but it definitely illustrated my point. So yeah. Please enjoy my other videos. I'll be doing normal videos as well, you know, like Billy Moore-ish or whatever, or Charlie Veach-ish and stuff like that, and just have a walk around and do some. I've got some new ideas anyway, which I think you'll enjoy anyway, because obviously there was a few commenters in the comments, so I might have to go to a few off and do a few interviews and stuff like that in the different communities in Nottingham. So look forward to that. All right, so